Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Crown, and today I'm going to read you some very interesting stories that I hope that you're gonna love. And now, without further ado, let's go! Hey there, let me tell you about a wild encounter I had recently. A story that could give anyone a run for their money when it comes to entitled people. So it has been a long day on the beach, and all I wanted was a hot meal and a soothing bath to wash away the stress. Little did I know that my evening was about to take a nosedive into the absurd. It was a chilling evening, and after wrapping up a grueling shift, I dragged my tired self home. The aroma of comfort food was beckoning from my phone. The convenience of ordering through an app is a lifesaver when you're too wiped out to cook or even talk to someone on the phone. I picked my favorites, hit that order button, and paid. Mission accomplished, right? Wrong. With my belly rumbling, I set the perfect bath, bubbles and all. As the water embraced me in its warmth, I let out a sigh of relief. I deserve this, I thought. I had barely settled in when my stomach grumbled louder than a bear's growl. Ah, the food. I practically leaped out of the tub, dripping water everywhere to make it to the door, but there was no food in sight. Some restaurants won't just wait for you to answer the door. They will leave it there and hit the doorbell and leave if you've already paid for it. The minutes ticked by and food didn't show. It was as if my dinner had pulled a Houdini on me. I dialed up the restaurant, trying to keep my patience in check. A voice on the other end confirmed my order and said they would look into it. Okay, fair enough. Moments later, they called back and tell me my food had been delivered. Yeah, right. I expressed my disbelief, and the voice insisted that the delivery guy had left it right at my doorstep. They even sent me a snapshot as proof. A photo of a bag on my Porsche. Seriously? I was having none of that nonsense. Hold on, I said, I'll call you back. It was time to review the security camera footage. As I sat there watching the video playback, the puzzle pieces started to fit. I saw the delivery guy stroll up, leave the bag, take a picture and walk away. But wait, there was more. A minute later, the guy returned, sans jacket and now wearing a hat. Sneaky little devil. He picks up the bag like he's on a secret mission and saunters off. Well, I'll be damned. I couldn't let this slide. It's not about the food anymore, it's about the principle. So I threw on some clothes, hopped in my car and drove straight to the restaurant. I walked in and asked for the manager, hoping to sort things out. And that's when the entitlement train really took off. The manager, a guy who acted like he invented food, didn't seem to get the gravity of the situation. I recounted my tale, throwing in a bit of detective drama for good measure, but instead of cooperation, I was met with rudeness. He dismissed my camera evidence like it was some sort of a party trick and had the nerve to blame my neighborhood for being a den of thieves. I was getting seriously fed up when, out of nowhere, enters Mr. Delivery Guy. He had all the subtlety of a bull in a china shop and tried to put up a tough act. Before I knew it, he was trying to pounce on me, probably thinking I was just another annoyed customer. He even threw a chair at me, which I expertly dodged. Rookie move, pal. Now, I'm not the kind of guy to back down from a brawl, but I'm also a cop. Yeah, I am. And I have to think responsibly. So, with the situation spiraling out of control, I pulled out my badge and my gun, shouting at them to freeze like I was in some action movie. I dialed for backup, and let me tell you, those boys arrived in record time. The cavalry had arrived, and they swiftly took the manager and a delivery dude into custody. It was about time someone read them their rights. The delivery guy's face turned paler than a ghost. He finally realized he'd messed with the wrong person. Turns out this little escapade of his had landed him a one-way ticket to a lineup of serious charges. As the night unfolded, we learned some more juicy details. That entitled delivery man, he was a manager's brother-in-law. Talk about keeping it in the family. The manager had been covering up his food heist scheme for who knows how long, scamming people left and right. Karma finally caught up to him and his punishment was served, hot and fresh. In the end, I might not have had my dinner that night, but I did get a taste of sweet victory. The manager got bailed out, but he lost his job. and I'll take that as a win. Stay safe out there, folks, and keep your dinner secure. This is a story that happened to me not too long ago. It's about a day that started off so nice, filled with birthday cake and laughter, but took a wild turn I never saw coming. It was my niece's birthday, you know? She's this adorable little girl with curly hair and a smile that could light up a room. Now, let me give you a little background. My brother, he's married to a wonderful white woman, and together they have got this sweet girl. A mix of both worlds, you could say. And man, do I love that kid. So I went to her birthday party, gift in hand. It was this beautiful doll that I thought she'd really like. The party was great, cake, games, all the good stuff. And after the party wound down, I decided to take her for a run to the nearby park. You know, burn off some of that sugar rush. Plus, I had a plan to get her some ice cream later. We're at the park, she's laughing and running around, and I'm just soaking in the joy of spending time with her. We make our way to the ice cream stand, and that's when things got weird. Enter Karen. I'm sure you know the type, entitled and quick to judge. So there we are, waiting in line for ice cream when Karen comes up to us. She starts with the questions: who am I? What's my relation to this little girl? And I'm used to curious looks, but this was different. I told her I am her uncle, and I thought that would be that. But nope, Karen wasn't having it. Uncle, huh? Sure doesn't look like it, she said, giving me this skeptical look. I'm thinking, what's the deal? But before I can even explain more, she starts shouting, saying that I must be up to something, that maybe I am not who I say I am. I'm just standing there holding my niece's hand, trying to stay calm. I tell her again I am her uncle, just taking her for some ice cream. No need to cause a fuss. But Karen, she's not backing down. She yells for help, saying that I am kidnapping this girl. Wow, seriously? People start looking, of course, some stopping to see what's going on, and then someone goes and calls the cops. So now there we are, in the park, surrounded by the onlookers and police officers. They start asking questions and I answer honestly. But Karen, she is still shouting, saying that I'm lying and that this little girl can't possibly be related to me. The officers are just doing their job, I get it. They ask me to call the parents to come and verify. So I call up my brother and his wife, explain the situation, and they rush over. They arrive and my sister-in-law shows them some documents to prove the girl's identity, but Karen, she's still there, arms crossed, not buying a word of it. The cops apologize for the hassle, saying they had to be cautious, and honestly, I appreciate that. They are just looking out for the safety of a child here, but Karen, she's not having any of that. She starts going off about how there is no way my brother, a black man, could be married to a white woman. Wow, okay. Then out of nowhere, she screams that if no one's going to do anything, she will. Directly at the cops. I mean, who does that? And before anyone can react, she grabs my niece's hand and she starts running. I'm in shock, my heart pounding, and I take off after them along with cops and a few other people who were around. We catch up to her pretty quickly, thank God, and the cops step in, taking my niece away from her. And you know what happens next? They arrest Karen for attempted kidnapping. Can you believe the audacity of some people? Of course, the poor girl's crying, her mom's trying to console her, and my brother's just lost for words. I'm standing there, still catching my breath, talking to the officers, and I reassure them that my brother and his wife are going to press charges, making sure this lady is locked behind bars for a long time. It's a mess, you know, but at least the girl's safe. As for my niece, well, I hope she won't remember this when she's older. It's not the kind of memory you want to carry around. A traumatizing experience like that, no kid should have to go through it. So that's my wild story, folks. A day that started with cake and celebration but turned into something straight out of a movie. It's a reminder that there are all kinds of people out there and not everyone's motives are good. But in the end, it's the love and support of family that keeps us strong. My dad has always been a really strict person, but he's still my dad. He loves my kids more than he loves me. I am taking care of him now because he's having a hard time remembering things. Before he got worse, he told me he wanted to help pay for my kids' school fees. So I made sure that happened. He paid for their school, and we had saved money for other things. so they could get to keep the extra money. I told my kids they should thank their grandpa and we were planning to visit him. They didn't like the idea and didn't want to be involved with him because they don't agree with his ideas. They talk more to their mom and she keeps me updated. After arguing a lot, my wife convinced them to come with us. But the visit was a disaster. Instead of thanking him, my kids shouted at him and made fun of him. We had a big fight about it and they asked me why I expected anything different. Was it wrong of me to push them to say thank you? Should I have just let things be? Thank you for your advice and information. I am going to talk to my wife, but I'm thinking of stopping them from using the money their grandpa gave them and the money we saved for them. I know I can't make them pay back the money, but I can stop them from using it. I'll also take back their cars and might even sell them. I'll stop paying their rent and take away their access to our shared credit cards and phone plan. Basically, I'm not going to support their lifestyle anymore. I get that saying thank you without meaning it doesn't mean much to most people, but my dad's memory and thinking are really bad now. He might not even noticed that they didn't mean it. He would have liked it if they had said thanks. If they were willing to accept the money, they could have said thanks too. I might stop reading now. I know I didn't do well as a dad and my kids show that. I am disappointed in myself as a dad and I should have raised them better. I'm kind of curious in a sad way. The money was a lot. My dad was getting worse and couldn't stay at home anymore. He wanted to do something important, like pay for his grandkids' school, because he couldn't do that for me. So we sold the house and divided the money equally among the kids. They each got around 300k. That's what I meant about making sure they use the money for school, and I didn't use it for his care. I paid for that myself. When the time came, I told them that their grandpa had saved money for their schooling. I let them know that we also had money saved for their education, so they didn't have to use his money. I said they could use his money for school and ours for everything else, or just use ours. As far as I know, my dad wasn't secretly involved in any bad stuff or dangerous groups. He just had old-fashioned and hurtful ideas. He did talk about his beliefs, but our kids stopped seeing him when they were young, and he's been sick for a long time. He probably doesn't even know about their beliefs. My kids are more open-minded and I understand why they feel the way they do about him, but still, they didn't need to act so badly. I don't know why I'm still writing about this. This is the last I'll say about it. I know I didn't do well as a parent. I didn't teach them properly that they should say thanks when someone is kind to them. I feel better seeing these comments, and it seems I'm not the only parent who didn't do a good job teaching this lesson. Now for some comments on a post. Someone says, saying thank you doesn't mean there are strings attached to the money. Seriously people, there is absolutely nothing wrong with a simple thank you. And if their grandpa's views and behavior was not abhorrent, then why did they all let him pay for their college? Definitely not the jerk here, but I'm sorry to say that your kids are. Another commenter adds, not the jerk. Did they know he was paying their tuition prior to graduating? Like, did you let them know your current tuition is being paid for by your grandfather? If they willingly accepted his offer and decided to take without so much as a thanks, they are spoiled brat. If you didn't inform them and all of a sudden they have to go thank someone they don't even like for something they didn't even consent to, then it's not their job to thank him, it's your job to thank him for helping with your kids. What do you guys think about this? Please let me know in the comments below. I'm female 45 and my daughter 12 decided 2 weeks ago she wants to be a vegetarian. I was fine with that. I would support and encourage her if that's what she wanted. The past 2 weeks she has been looking down on the rest of the family with snooty comments like, you know that will just sit in your colon, right? And it doesn't make you the murderer, but it definitely makes you the accomplice. Her brother, 7, is getting sick of it, and so am I. Especially when I just got home from work and just wanted to relax and enjoy my meal. 3 days ago was my son's birthday and we decided to take him out to his favorite restaurant. This place had vegetarian options, so I was not worried about my daughter being upset about it. I asked her if she wanted to go and she excitedly said yes. We get there, and when the waiter takes out our order, my daughter decided she wanted a mushroom burger. I said, whoa, I thought you wanted to go vegetarian. She says, I'm taking a break since it's a special occasion. I told the waiter to cancel that order and give us a few minutes. I looked at her and said, "Look here, Missy, you've been nothing but a jerk these last few days with your passive-aggressive comments since going vegan, vegetarian or whatever. You either commit to it now or you get nothing at all." She doesn't even look at me, she just flops her head on a table and starts crying the moment I start talking. My husband does nothing but says, "Way to go." She doesn't move her head the entire dinner, even when I ask if we need to talk outside. Okay, go to the bathroom to collect herself? Nothing. We get home and she just goes to her room. My husband thinks that I'm the jerk because I had to ruin a night out. Am I the jerk here? Edit for clarification. So my husband and I told her to knock it off with the comments before this happened. At first it was random cons about eating meat, and I told her I'm aware but this is my choice. Second edit. When I said mushroom burger, I mean a hamburger with sauteed mushrooms on top with melted cheese. It's definitely not a portobello patty. Then come the rude remarks like, "So you're just gonna take 2 years off your lifespan like that?" When I chose to reheat meatloaf for dinner instead of a pizza. At that point I told her that she doesn't get to make rude remarks about people's lifestyle choices like the way she's doing. And if she says something rude like that again, I am taking away her phone. Of course, she cried and ran to her room. She stopped saying things to me and her dad, but then she would start picking on her brother when we were out of earshot. I would deny it when he would tell us. Apparently, she has been telling her brother that he's a loser for eating meat, hot dogs, and so are his friends. After doing this twice, I took her phone away and told her to apologize to her brother, and if she wants to educate people on vegetarianism, that's completely fine. But she needs to stop being a bully about it. Again, she breaks down and just runs to her room. I'm not even yelling at her. This is how she tries to deflect accountability. I tried to talk to her an hour later about it, but she flailed onto her bed and started bawling. I told her she needed to calm down and have a conversation with me about what's going on. She just screamed no, so I just left before I lost my cool. At this point, I am really considering therapy for us. But yeah, let me guys know what you think about this.
And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.